Waiting for the Wave by Ellen Abrams. Setting, the back windows of 3 facing apartments. Time, the pandemic lockdown. Setting, silhouettes of apartment fire escapes. At rise, Suki and Marla.
I said, I've seen you outside, back when we were allowed to go outside.
Oh yeah, sure, I've seen you too. How are you doing? I'm Suki, by the way.
Oh, I'm okay. Marla, but my poor mother.
Is she sick?
Oh, not that way. It's, well, she's old and she aches from every ailment known to man, except that one.
Must be a relief.
I suppose so, but even so, she doesn't exactly suffer in silence.
Marley, are you there, dear?
Where else would I be, Ma? It's been against the law to go outside for like 4 months.
Can't be that long already.
Feels like that to me. Do you know anyone who has it?
Awful, you?
Everyone I know seems to know someone who has been sick or even died.
If we were living in the Middle Ages, we would think this plague was God's punishment for our sins. But you gotta wonder if it's God punishing us for the sin of electing Donald Trump, or maybe he's punishing Trump through all of us.
I heard they're grabbing anyone seen on the street after dark and shoving them into those makeshift jails on Governor's Island.
There's only so long you can stay indoors without going a little nuts and sneaking outside.
At least we have our windows.
Except we can't even see the sunset from here. Used to be, you could just see it by standing on any old facing street in the city. God, the light of the sky. Saffron, peach, indigo, mauve. Like some mad exploding canvas of colors.
And at night, the moon. Remember that? A sharp, pale, silver crescent against the cold, dark night. I don't think they'll ever let us out. Which I don't get. The worst is over, right?
No one knows if we've even hit the worst of it yet. You know who screwed up the lockdown, so.
You don't really believe that it was his fault?
It was getting better. The numbers were going down, but he wanted to play golf again, hold rallies again, filled it up with the people again. So he opened up the country, and look what we got.
What did we get?
Thousands more dead people. And dead pets. And dead hopes that this would all end quickly.
He didn't spread the virus himself.
He might as well have.
Is that what your husband thinks?
Nick thinks that if you get sick, you should take it without complaint. If you can't get to a hospital, die at home and stop making such a fuss.
I think I'm with him.
Then why are you caring for your mother?
I wanted to do the right thing, but the right thing is driving me crazy.
Be grateful that she doesn't have it.
Have you seen that cute little family walking on the street? The twin boy and girl, Robbie and Bonnie.
They're the cutest kids for 10 blocks around. I miss seeing them.
Robbie died, I heard.
Oh, awful.
And still my 87-year-old mother lives with her arthritis, her poor circulation, her heart arrhythmia, her backed up kidneys, swollen ankles. I mean, you name it.
Do you think our lives will be different when it finally ends?
I know I'm not going to shake anyone's hand again. He says it's disgusting, and I agree. Plus, I'm taking hand sanitizer with me wherever I go from the day until I die.
What I mean is, will we be able to trust one another again enough to stand close when we're liberated from this timeless confinement? Will people be less wicked, or out of sheer relief, be more wicked than ever before.
My guess, the second part. Now that they've started arresting people on the street, can we ever go back?
We've got to, don't we? Or else we're like some other kind of country, the kind we always say we're not like.
We're still not that. He wouldn't let us become that.
Ugh, but he's the reason we're becoming that.
You're wrong.
He didn't listen to the experts.
But he's as smart as any expert. And don't forget, the TV doctors agreed with him.
All three of them graduated from Trump Medical College.
Really? He runs one of those too?
He also said that the cause of the Great Plague of the Middle Ages was the triple conjunction of Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars to the 40th degree. Brave, fella!
The reason I'm not going outside is the pollution.
The what?
The what?
The carbon dioxide we exhale is what is destroying our environment. I saw that on TV too, or maybe it was on the cover of the New York Post. We got to stop exhaling so often.
Really?
There's no such thing as pollution. We got rid of that years ago.
What?
I never went out much before all this anyway. Now that it's forbidden, that is just fine with me. So how's your mother?
Same.
Does she have it? She shouldn't really be in the hospital. She should really be in a hospital so she doesn't infect and slaughter the entire building.
Her mother's too frail to leave their apartment. She's not making the building sick.
She doesn't have it. I swear.
Well, you should be wearing a mask like I do so you don't infect the atmosphere. Hey, you too.
Uh-huh.
Fine. Just don't come crying to me when the whole neighborhood is ordered into underground quarantine because you two weren't wearing masks. I heard that's next. Well, for blue states only.
This thing is bigger than exhaling.
I hope you at least wear a mask when you're helping your mother.
I'm sure she does. How are you doing? What?
Lydia, we've met before, at the bodega on 94th Street.
Yes, of course. I remember.
You laughed at me.
No.
I had run out of seltzer.
Oh, yes.
Remember?
You wanted the seltzer that didn't have
Too many bubbles.
What's that now?
I don't like bubbles. They give me gas. So I politely asked the proprietor to point out the seltzer that didn't have too many bubbles. This one and her husband laughed at me loudly.
Did you find something less bubbly?
Not in that store.
I am so sorry. We laughed. The request took us by surprise. I hope we didn't offend you.
You most certainly did.
Okay, I see. I'm very sorry. Seltzer bubbles can be troublesome.
Did you hear about Robbie?
Is that one of the twins?
Died.
Oh, jeez. I love those kids. Well, the once or twice I saw them.
How long ago did it happen?
I don't know. I've lost track of time. Is it May or October?
Yes, it is.
So where's your husband?
How did you know I was married?
I hear things.
We all face a courtyard. The sound bounces.
What sort of things?
I don't think I should say. Marriage and quarantine, not exactly a recipe for romance.
What's she on about? We live in small old apartments where you can't keep private things private. Everyone knows that.
Mind your own business.
That man is a rageaholic.
The pizza delivery guy says he's a lousy tipper.
Do you think he, hits her? Spousal abuse is way up. Everyone's going crazy, more than usual, even for New York.
My nephew had to cancel his wedding. I feel terrible for him. You ever been married?
No, not me. You?
3 times, if you can believe it. I didn't want to tell Suki, but 2 of those times it was to a guy named Nick. Guys named Nick are not good guys to marry.
So you believe that the name makes the man?
I know the name Nick makes the man rotten. I believe that much.
Marley, are you still there?
Where can I go, Ma?
A glass of water, if it's not too much trouble.
I'll be right with you.
Getting dehydrated.
I'm getting delirious.
Hey, I heard he's a drinker.
No. He's too handsome. Never trust handsome men. They are snakes. Both of my Nicks were.
Hey, who lives on top of you?
Oh, up there? Kid with the trumpet. Plays badly. Luckily, he hates to practice.
But if he practiced more, maybe he'd get even better.
Not this kid. I used to sing. I know a musician when I hear one. This kid ain't no musician.
Where'd you sing?
Vegas.
You're kidding!
I was a singing showgirl.
There are such things?
Back in the day, sure. I came home to care for my mom.
Sweet.
Also, I got old. Old showgirls are called waitresses.
A showgirl? Wow. I always wondered what it would be like to be a showgirl.
It's not as glamorous as it sounds.
Did you wear a sparkly costume?
What there was of it was sparkly.
Is Vegas on lockdown?
It was, until their mayor opened up the strip again, and then, well.
Yeah, that's right. She got sick, right? Yeah, karma, I think.
They could let us out in New York. That much I know. The curve is as flat as it's going to go.
What makes you so sure?
I can read a graph as well as anyone.
Look, I'm very happy indoors. I read the paper, books, watch Law and Order and Law and Order and Law and Order. My favorite one is the one about—
I think our government is punishing us, trying to break our spirits. We can't let them do that. It's time to take to the streets.
But the streets are dirty. Those people there, disease. There are no clean surfaces.
That's just what they want you to believe. Don't fall for their lies.
Well, why would they lie about this?
Think about it.
I am, and I still don't understand what you're talking about.
By the way, she wasn't just a showgirl. She was a stripper, a hooker, I heard.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I think her mother has it.
She says not.
Can we believe anyone anymore? Nick!
Was she the one who said it?
Wasn't her. This is Lydia.
Who?
Remember the not too many bubbles in the seltzer at the bodega, Lydia?
No. That was her? You? Oh, that was the funniest goddamn thing I ever heard at a bodega.
I'm glad I made your day.
Oh, no, really, we were talking about that for weeks afterwards.
Okay, honey, enough.
Oh, we told everyone that story. Everyone. Sometimes it comes to me in the middle of a session and I just burst out laughing. Then I tell my physical therapy patients and then they start laughing.
Okay, honey.
Oh, I've been living here for like 10 years and I have never heard anything so New Yorky.
Nick, enough.
Go to hell.
You first.
Hey, door's always open, lady.
Get out of my life.
I hate you.
He can be such a prick.
Oh, it'll get better, honey. You're both so young. It's toughest when you're young. Or so I've heard. Well, this thing is either going to make us stronger or break us all.
I can feel myself cracking.
Oh, no, we've survived this long under these conditions and in the hottest viral hotspot in the country. We can keep going.
You gotta at least try, right?
Sorry about before.
I'm sorry too. I should have kept my mouth shut.
You know, I guess we all forget where we are sometimes and just let loose. Hey, do either of you know who lives in that one?
Fortune teller.
We've got a fortune teller among us.
Lady minister, you can hear her practicing her sermons. Over there, a teenage daughter and a frazzled mom. Am I the only one who hears them Friday after midnight? And the one below them is a subway drummer. So loud.
Why doesn't the fortune teller predict when this thing will end?
Well, it's one thing to guess that a tall, dark stranger is coming into your life. It's another to foretell when an international pandemic will fade away.
Well, not according to you know who. He knows more than the doctors, he says.
He doesn't?
He thinks that wind turbines cause cancer.
They don't?
So the high number of cases is a badge of honor.
Okay, now that's insane.
Suki, could you maybe toss a note into the fortune teller's window and ask her about the virus's estimated time of exodus?
Maybe not. I heard she expected that both the twins would survive, healthy and happy.
God, I don't know what I'd do if I lost someone I love to this. Just because you know who refused to believe it could happen and fired the experts who told him it could.
Why would he do that?
He thought it would make Obama look bad.
Wow, that's not very mature.
It's worse than that. It's criminal.
I wonder how Robbie's parents would feel if they knew that's why their son died.
Oh, well, do either of you have kids?
We thought we wanted them. It doesn't seem like such a terrific idea anymore.
Never wanted them. What about you, Lydia?
Look at me. I've gone on 5 dates in my entire life. I couldn't have paid a man to impregnate me.
Don't say that.
Your looks are fine.
Hell, whatever.
That sound drives my cat crazy. You think she'd get used to it after all this time? But she just stands on her hind legs and yowls at the window every single night.
Even my mother forgets her ailments when it rolls in. Grins the entire time it goes on.
The only exercise I get anymore is the clapping.
My hands got so raw, I started using this.
So you're the one doing that.
There are heroes. Gotta make some noise.
Someone on the radio said they'd rather have PPE than applause.
But since we can't give them that, we do this. I hope they know how proud we are, how much we know we owe them.
Any frontliners in your building?
You know, I used to see a med student coming in as I was going out in the morning. Oh, and there's a hardware store owner a few doors down on our block.
To tell you the truth, I'm sort of amazed that tribute has gone on as long as it has, especially in this neighborhood.
It just goes to show, New York tender.
Oh,
You mean New York tough, like a well-done steak that is surprisingly tasty.
No, I meant tender. We do this. It's nice. New Yorkers can be tender and tough.
Marley, is it time?
Almost, Mom.
notice how it gradually moves up the island until it gets closer and closer and lands like a warm and welcoming smile or something. Oh, makes you feel really good, right?
Then you hear it move off, a wave of joyful noise.
I really am pleased to have met you ladies. You know the cliche, with all the people in the city, you never get to know your own neighbors until something terrible like this happens.
It's true what they say about New York. It's just a big, small town.
Nobody says that about New York. Nobody in their right mind.
I think it's true.
If we ever get out, how about a cappuccino at that little cafe on 98? My treat.
Oh.
You too, Lydia. You should get out more, stretch your legs, and get some color.
Maybe.
See you both then. And until then, for a few more tomorrows. There it is.
Oh, thank you.
Cool.
Woo!
Hi.
End of play.